Hi, welcome to today's lesson. We are going to learn the letter G. That's correct. That's the letter G. So, we're going to pronounce the letter and most importantly, learn to read and write the letter in your Puppy Lines book. So let's go!
But before we start, like and subscribe below.
So, let's listen to the sound and look at the pictures closely. The short sound G. The short sound G. Look at the letter G. Now look at the letter G. What's the sound of short G? The short sound of G is G. Let's say that again. The short sound of G is G. Now you say it. The short sound of G is G. That's it. Again, the short sound of G is G. That's correct. So, the short sound of G is G. Well done. Great practice. The short sound of G is G. Great job.
Amazing. I am getting better.
Now look at the picture. This is a fruit. They grow on vines. It's called grapes. They can be dried as raisin, currants, and sultanas. Grapes. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. It begins with the short sound G. It begins with the letter G. Grapes. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it. Look at the picture. This is an animal. This is called a goat. G. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. A goat is an animal that has horns which are arched backward, a short tail, and straight hair. Goat. G. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it. Now look at the picture. This is a goose. It is a large water bird with a long neck, short legs, webbed feet, and a short, broad bill. Goose. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it. Goose. Look at the picture. The grass is swaying in the wind. Grass. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. The grass is a plant with narrow leaves, and it's usually green. This common kind of grass is used to cover the ground in places such as lawns and parks. Grass can get water from the roots in the ground. Grass. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. Grass. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it. Now look at the picture. This is a goldfish. A goldfish is a pet, and it is one of the most popular aquarium fish to have. Goldfish. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. Goldfish. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it. I know you know this picture. Look at the picture. This is a girl. I am a 4-year-old girl. G. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. Girl. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. Girl. Look at the picture. The boy gave his dad a gift today. Gift. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. Gift. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. Gift. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it. Look at the picture. This is called a gate. The girl opened the gate. Mommy closed the gate. Gate. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. It begins with the letter G. It begins with the short sound G. Gate. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it. Boys and girls, let's get ready to hear the story. Introducing the letter G. This is a story about a boy who is imagining the beautiful words that start and has the letter G in its words. Remember, the sound of G is G. Let's look at the boy. G, G, G. Goats are great to go see at the farm, zoo, or by the park. G, G, G. Grasshoppers live in green grass. The G, G, G. Girl goldfish, a guinea pig, and a guitar as gifts. The goose went through the gate. G. Can you write the letter G on the puppy lines? Let's try and see. Here are some instructions before you start. You must write across the page. That is from left to right, which at the same time will help you to learn to write better. Now, let's look at your seating position. As a student, this is very important. You should sit correctly at your table, comfortably holding your tripod pencil. Yes? Great job! Now, sit back up straight, lean back on your chair rest. Do not allow your pencil to lean over the table. Ensure that your chair is pulled close to your table, and your feet must be kept flat on the floor. Are you ready? Okay, let's go! Now, what's this letter again?
G.
That's correct. The short sound of G is G. Look at the picture, listen, then write the letter G. You pull backward, around, up, down, and under. Let's say that again. You pull backward, around, up, down, and under. Great job! Try it with your finger in the air. You pull backward, around, up, down, and under. You pull backward, around, up, down, and under. Amazing job! Great! Now keep practicing. Now let's write our letters like Peppy the puppy. For body and tail letters, you write between the dotted blue line and the last blue line. However, the letter starts between the dotted blue line and the red line. Get it? All right. Let's try our letters like Peppy the puppy. Write the letter G in your Penmanship Puppy Lines book. Now, let's try it on the paper. You pull backward, around, up, down, and under. Don't forget to do finger spacing. Slowly. You pull backward, around, up, down, and under. Amazing job! Don't forget to do finger spacing. Slowly. You pull backward, around, up, down, and under. That's correct. Slowly. You pull backward, around, up, down, and under.
I love my body and tail letters.
You pull backward, around, up, down, and under. Don't forget to do finger spacing. backward, around, up, down, and under. Wow! You have completed your lesson on the letter G. Now stay tuned for the letter I. And the short sound of I is I. Goodbye, you guys.
If you've reached this far in our video, we'd love to hear you comment below. Type in the word love. Our channel is just for you guys. Check the educational links below.